Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS. Let's get to the news now, folks. Let's talk about one of the biggest stories surrounding the Falcons right now, the injury status of one of their key defensive players, A.J. Terrell. For those of you who have been following the team closely, you know how vital Terrell is to their secondary. He's not just any cornerback, he's arguably the best the Falcons have, and his presence on the field is crucial for their pass defense. But unfortunately, the latest update isn't good news for Atlanta. A.J. Terrell has been ruled out for the second consecutive game, and that's a blow to the team's defensive plans. He's dealing with a hamstring injury, the same injury that kept him out of their Week 3 drubbing by the Carolina Panthers, a game that certainly didn't go the way they wanted. And this isn't just a minor setback. It's the same hamstring issue that first cropped up in Week 2 against the Minnesota Vikings. Initially, the team and the coaching staff thought he might return sooner rather than later. They labeled it as week to week, which gave fans a glimmer of hope. But now, with him missing another game, that hope has been pushed further back. Head coach Raheem Morris mentioned that there's still a chance Terrell could return in Week 5, which is promising, but it's not a certainty. The team's official reports, like those from Torrey McElhaney, confirm that Terrell is still sidelined, and that leaves Atlanta in a tricky spot. Imagine the scene for a second. The Falcons have just suffered a humiliating 30-0 loss to the Panthers. That kind of defeat can shake a team's confidence, but it also reveals areas where adjustments are desperately needed. And one of those areas is undoubtedly the secondary. Without Terrell, they're missing their best lockdown corner, and that's a significant problem, especially when facing teams with dynamic quarterbacks. Even though Atlanta's pass defense has been stellar overall, they lead the NFL in pass defense, allowing just 131 yards per game. The absence of Terrell puts a big question mark on their ability to shut down opponents. Now you might be thinking, hey, they've still got Marcus Mariota as a backup quarterback for the opposing team, so maybe it's not so bad. But that's not quite how it works in the NFL. Even if the backup quarterback is less experienced or less talented, the secondary needs to be on point to prevent big plays, especially against talented passers. And even with the Panthers quarterback Bryce Young only throwing for 121 yards in their recent game, the Falcons' defense still struggled to contain him, perhaps partly because of the absence of their top corner. It's a reminder that the NFL is a game of matchups, and when you're missing your best players, the whole defense feels it. But here's the interesting part. Despite the loss of Terrell, the Falcons' pass defense has been remarkably effective. They're currently the best in the league in this category. That's a testament to the coaching staff's ability to organize and adapt, and also to the depth they've built across their roster. Still, the absence of Terrell is a glaring hole. His contract, a 4-year, $81 million extension signed in 2024, shows how highly the Falcons value him. They see him as a cornerstone of their defense, someone they want to build around for the long term. And when he finally makes his return, the Falcons will be counting on him to help them stay at the top of the NFL's pass defense rankings. Looking ahead, when Atlanta takes on Washington, all the focus will be on quarterback Michael Penix. He's been impressive this season, and with the Falcons missing Terrell, the secondary will need to be extra vigilant. They can't afford lapses or miscommunications, especially against a quarterback who's capable of making big throws. The coaching staff will have to come up with creative ways to cover for Terrell's absence, perhaps more safety help, more zone coverage, or even rotating other players to step up. What's also interesting is how this injury impacts the team's overall strategy. The Falcons have been building under Morris with a focus on a balanced attack, strong defense, smart passing game, and a versatile offense. Losing Terrell temporarily puts more pressure on other defensive backs to step up. Players like A.J. Terrell are more than just cover men. They're leaders on the field, guys who set the tone for the entire defense. His absence could force others to elevate their game. And let's not forget, injuries are part of the NFL game. Every team faces setbacks, and how they respond often defines their season. The Falcons have shown resilience before. Remember how they bounced back after tough losses last year? They've got a talented roster, and even without Terrell, they still have a chance to keep their momentum going. The coaching staff will need to be strategic, perhaps lean more on their pass rush or tighten up their coverage schemes to compensate. The division itself, the NFC South, is wide open right now. The Panthers, Saints, and Buccaneers are all vying for supremacy, and a single game can shift the balance significantly. For Atlanta, staying healthy and managing these injuries is critical if they want to stay competitive and push toward the playoffs. The defense, especially the secondary, is a huge part of that puzzle. When A.J. Terrell finally returns, it could give them an extra boost, turning a good defense into an elite one. So, Falcons fans, it's a moment to stay optimistic but also realistic. Injuries happen, and the NFL is a league that demands depth and resilience. The team has been building a strong foundation, and now it's about how they adapt and overcome adversity. Watching how players step up in Terrell's absence will be exciting, maybe one of the younger guys or a veteran stepping into a larger role. It's a test of character and team depth. And this situation also highlights the importance of the coaching staff's game plan. Raheem Morris and his staff will need to craft strategies that minimize the impact of Terrell's absence. That might mean more double coverage, more blitzing, or other creative defensive schemes. The key is to keep the opposition from exploiting the secondary's vulnerabilities, especially in a division where every game matters so much for playoff positioning. In the broader picture, this injury story fits into the narrative of the Falcons' season so far, a mixture of promise, resilience, and the ongoing challenge of staying healthy. The team has shown flashes of brilliance, especially on defense, but injuries like this remind us how thin the margins are in this league. It's about who can adapt quickest, who can keep their composure, and who can find ways to win even when the deck is stacked against them. Looking at the schedule ahead, Atlanta will face some tough opponents, and without their top corner, they'll need to rely on their collective strength. The secondary will be tested, but it's also an opportunity for other players to prove their worth. Whether it's a rotation of safeties or a different corner stepping into the spotlight, the team will need everyone to contribute. And let's talk about the fans for a moment. Your support is more crucial than ever. The passion, the energy, the unwavering belief in this team, that's what fuels Atlanta Falcons players. Every game, every play, every big stop or crucial interception, it's all part of this journey. Injuries are tough, but they also serve as a rallying point for fans and players alike to come together and push even harder. As we wrap up today's update, keep an eye on the injury reports and team news because things can change quickly in the NFL. But one thing is clear, the Falcons are still in the hunt, and their defense, even with this setback, remains one of the most formidable in the league. The focus now shifts to how they respond, how they adapt, and how they continue to fight for every inch on that field. The NFC South is shaping up to be one of the most exciting divisions this season, and Atlanta's resilience and depth could be the key to their success. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this injury situation? How do you think the team will handle Terrell's absence? Do you believe other players will step up and fill the void? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Atlanta Falcons. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep that Falcons spirit alive.